The ExtremeRate Rise 4 Remap Kit for PS5. Take note right here, we're pointing out which model we are dealing with on the controller. You can see the little A next to the model number. This is gonna be a Model 2 that's gonna be important for later. I love taking on projects like this. I was very skeptical about this product at first, but obviously really pleased with the results toward the end of this video. I highly recommend getting this. I always wanted a 4-button back mod for a controller, and now we got it. Let's have some fun. You're gonna need this pry tool out of this little bag. Very convenient, screws, Phillips. We're gonna use this to take apart the controller. We're just gonna run it down the side of this. Pry it as we go. We're gonna do the best that we can to not scratch this thing up. I'm such a stickler for neatness that if we ruin the aesthetics of this controller, I'm gonna be pretty upset. Work our way to the R1 and R2. We're just gonna kind of get underneath this and then wiggle it. There we go. We've got 4 screws here that we're going to remove, and that's another indication of which model that you have. We've got silver screws on this PS5 controller indicated with the A on the model number. This is going to be a Model 2. Black screws and no A, signifying it's going to be a Model 1, which is the white one that we have right here. We've got 2 hinges right here that we're gonna have to pry loose from the controller. And from here, we're just gonna pry it open. We're gonna hear some loud cracks, but fear not. It's a very sturdy piece of equipment. Really nice stuff. Then we've got to take this battery backing off. This ribbon cable feeds into the back casing. We've got to take this out. One screw right here. Then the tray should come out very easily. We're gonna put that off to the side. Then we got 4 ribbon cables holding the motherboard in, top, bottom, and then the 2 left and right. There we go, just move those out of the way. First thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna grab this thing right here. We're gonna pull the board back, and then that's gonna reveal this little contact sheet right here. We're gonna put this in facing this way, with the circuitry outward. Put it on there just like so. Got the holes to slot in where these pegs go. While that's fit snugly onto there, we're going to try to fit our board back in. Make sure all these ribbon cables are put out of the way. Okay, off camera, I went ahead and put the top ribbon back in and the bottom ribbon back in because I was having trouble keeping this pegged in while trying to fit the motherboard back on. Now for my purposes, I know I'm working with the Model 2, so I need these 20 ribbons, but you're supposed to cut these off at the dotted lines. We're gonna hold on to this. I'm just gonna fold these out of the way in case I wanna use it in the future and put this on an older version. So we've got the 20 right here and the 20 right here. This is what we're gonna be working with, these 2 at the bottom. Very carefully we're going to fit this ribbon cable into the triggers. Very nice. Then from here, we're going to bend this all the way down and then plug it directly into the motherboard. And now time for the other side. This is what you got. Remember, 10, Model 1, 20, Model 2. So we're going to be operating with the top one. But I'm going to leave this one connected in case I ever want to reuse it. We're going to go right in here. And then with this one, we're going to go right from here right into there. So we're going to bend it, keep it nice and flush so we can have all the slack necessary to get to it. All right, next we're going to keep everything moved out of the way because we got to get the battery tray back in there. We're going to work our little ribbon cable back into place here. Gently work that back into the board. Fold this little ear back into the slot. Next, you're gonna need the back piece along with this plate here. We're just gonna set this right on the back. It's got some notches where it'll be able to sit right in there. And then we've got 4 screws that are gonna go on the back. Here, 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 and here. In the pack, you're gonna get these 3 screws right here. We're gonna work with the normal size. We got a super skinny one right there, a longer one, and then one that's right in the middle. We're gonna work with that one right here. We're gonna come back to our controller. We're gonna take this piece here. We're gonna peel the adhesive back off of this ribbon. This is gonna stick directly to the back of the battery. Good right there. Make sure you're really careful. These connectors here have latches. So again, we're working with the 20. And we're gonna latch this down. Finally got it in there. We're gonna do the locking tab and put that into place there. Got another locking tab right here. Make sure that is open. Looks like it is. And then we're gonna take the 20. And we're going to lock those tabs into place there. Next, we're going to feed this cable through the back part that we already assembled. Then we got this little bit right here. It does have a locking tab on it, so we need to make sure that that is exposed properly. Feed that in like so. Lock the tab on down. Beautiful. Now we're moving on to the back paddles. We've got K1. That's going to go on the left side, and then K2, which is going to go on the right side. Then you've got these little bars that came into that. It came in that hardware pack. So you're going to feed into the rear of these paddles. Like so. Like so. Just like that. K1 goes on the left side. And we're going to feed these right into the slots here. We're going to push that in Just like that. Just like that. All right, next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna remove the backing so that we can get this secured in place. The thin screws that we had. So the little thin screws in our hardware bag are gonna go right here and right here. Next, we got the back cover along with this little piece here. This is gonna slot in right at the top. This is the transparent plastic for this LED that's right here. Secured in the back with these two holes, just give it a nice little press right there. This last little piece goes in right here from the inside. Just like that. Nothing in place to hold it. It's just gonna be a button. Something that's gonna help with this is use some masking tape to kind of hold the buttons in place to where you can get this thing on there. Otherwise, it's gonna be a nightmare. It will not hold together. See, nice and easy like that. Everything's pegged up properly. We can go ahead and get this thing snapped together. There you have it. Okay, to map the controller is gonna be fairly simple. We're gonna give it some juice. We're gonna hold the middle button until we see the red light. And now we're in the mapping phase, okay? So you've gotta hold an original button. So we want X, we want this to be our jump. So we're gonna hold X and this button down at the same time until it blinks. There we go. And then for the next one over, we want this button to be prone. So we're gonna hold circle, that button at the same time. There we go. We want the reload button to be our left button right here. So we're gonna hold this and that button. There it is. And then we want triangle to be our plate button. Hold them two together. And that's it. As for the back buttons, we got everything mapped accordingly. We got prone, jump, reload, and plate. All this is left over, not gonna be necessary for the build that we did. Extra hardware in case you lose any of that stuff. And then this right here is if you wanna remap the L3, R3, and the touchpad to the back buttons. That's not necessary for us, so we're not gonna do that.